Brought to you by Blackmagic Design, the world's highest quality products for the feature film, post and broadcast industries. Blackmagicdesign.com. And by the Tonkawa Film Festival, celebrating short films from around the world. Tonkawafilmfestival.com.
We're here with producer Aaron Lubin of the film Finnegan's Foursome. And I just wanted to ask, the premise of the film is that the Finnegans are spreading their father and grandfather's ashes.
Right.
But the ladies see through it as just an excuse for them to go to Ireland. Was that kind of what happened when Burns pitched this film?
Well, I think that I think two things can be true at once. Okay, so that is, it very much is a movie about the ritual and acknowledging this celebrated figure in Jack Finnegan and distributing his ashes at the sacred places from his childhood and growing up, and also connected to their grandmother and their mother. But also, they want to use it as an excuse to play golf. So the Tricia Alexandro, who plays that character, calls them out on it. She's right, but also there is a more meaningful goal to this endeavor.
Do you think Ed Burns made this film so he could have an excuse to go to Ireland?
Well, when we made the film, obviously he's been wanting to make a film in Ireland since the 90s.
Yeah.
He's Irish American. His ancestors are from Ireland. We've always wanted to make a film in Ireland. So this would happen just to be the story aligned with his desire as a filmmaker, and it worked out beautifully.
So I'm here with Erica Hernandez, who plays Marie Finnegan, Lady Baltimore herself, who brings some femininity to the foursome. What was it like joining this boys' club?
Well, I will say it was actually great, because if you're going to join a boys' club, I highly recommend joining Ed Burns, Brian Darcy James, and Brian Muller, because they're wonderful, they're so fun, they're so silly, and just like, it really felt like family. I mean, it genuinely did feel like I was on a trip with, my uncle, my dad, and my cousin, all of whom are going to like roast each other and serve it back tenfold, but in the best way. I think like we had all that time in Ireland together to sort of create also a real family dynamic. Like, we're really on a road trip, we're really traveling to these different golf courses, we're really playing golf games on the weekend, and I came in as a golf novice, but I was able to learn so much, not just from obviously some professional training that I had before, but also them, like and seeing not just like the professional side of golf and seeing people who play it more often do it, but it's also like the mental part of that too, right? How everybody deals with playing that game. They say it's a game that happens between the years, and it is really funny to see people both in and out of character deal with a game that can really get in your head.
Yeah, absolutely. But to say that Finnegan's Foursome is about golf is to say that Field of Dreams is about baseball. It's really about family, and it's about, again, like you said, how we deal with the game, but also how we deal with life. Did you take any life lessons from the Zen master?
From Ed Burns himself? Yeah. Well, I think he is always somebody who leads by incredible example. Any project that I've been lucky enough to work on a few projects with him, and any time he is consistently somebody who leads with kindness, leads with sincerity, and is silly. Like, he keeps his sets really light. He makes sure that everybody feels appreciated and seen and heard, and really wants people to have a positive experience. And I think like that carries over into all of the projects that he makes, but it's also just such a, it's a consistent example to me in my life of like how real leadership looks. And I think it was really funny and very selfishly just like entertaining and fun to see him play a character that's like has an angry button, and like has a little bit more of a temper this time, because he's usually just like, I've had him play my dad before, and he's like this sweet, like supportive dad, and this was just like such a fun turn to see as a character, knowing that he's such a sweet guy in real life. But I think, it's also about a family dealing with loss and how they all deal with grief in different ways. And I think that hopefully will be something that translates to audiences, because I think we've all been a part of a family where everybody has different memories they're holding on to, or different tension that they're processing when someone passes away. And the best way to deal with that is coming together and honoring that life in all the complicated ways that one does. So.
I couldn't agree more. Now, did you get to spend any time in the pubs when the cameras weren't rolling?
Oh yeah. I also learned, I'll admit this on camera, even though it does me no favors, but for the longest time, there's a toast in Ireland, they say cilantro. I, for the first 4 weeks of filming, thought that everyone was saying cilantro. I just kept, and I don't think it was until I said it really loud that someone was like, that's not right. What are you saying? What did you say? And it became a whole, but again, like that's the dynamic that we had on set, that we could all kind of roast each other too in our best and worst moments. But yes, we definitely saw what I would say were some pretty magical moments in pubs off screen as well, because Ireland is just like it's a really wonderful place.
Now, was that you singing?
Yes.
It was beautiful. Thank you for that. And I like the cilantro story. It tells us how film really does help us learn about culture. So thank you so much.
Yeah, thank you. Thank you.
Enjoy. So you play one of the voices of reason in the film. Tell me, do you feel that's you in real life as well, or was it an acting challenge?
Good question. It depends on what topic. I'm the voice of reason in certain areas of my life, and I'm completely sort of untethered and flippant or immature in some other areas of my life. So yeah, I keep myself surrounded with good people for the areas where maybe I'm not so.
Now, I love a good Ed Burns dinner scene. He loves to get people around the table. How married to the script is everyone in those scenes, or do we kind of let it fly?
He'll often say, just, throw something out here. Or, we'll usually do at least a couple takes with the script as is. But then he starts to get a feel. I almost feel like he's like a jazz musician. He gets a feel as we start to do it if something's missing, or if there are lines that are off, or the relationships are not gelling from the script. So he'll say, Trish, just add something in there. Or he'll say, try this line. So it's kind of neat because a lot of it is on the fly. And I just love a good eating scene, because I think I ate about like 3 pieces of apple pie. He was like, Trish, you can stop eating now.
So we're here with Brian Muller, who plays Frankie Finnegan in Finnegan's Foursome, and you kill your grandfather by making a hole-in-one in the film.
Yes, I hit a hole-in-one, and my grandfather is so stunned that he has a heart attack and dies. Yes, that does happen, yeah.
And now, after we get over that,
yes,
we get to learn a little more about Frankie, and he's also a musician.
Yes.
And there's some singing in the film. Is that your voice I'm hearing?
We sang live on set. What you're hearing is we didn't do any ADR. We sang it live. And so yes, that is my voice that you're hearing.
Now, was there any intimidation sharing the scene with Brian Darcy James, who is a stage musician?
Well, I grew up idolizing Brian Darcy James. I've listened to Wild Party my whole life. I grew up doing musical theater. In college, I played Burrs. And so I've listened to that soundtrack more times than I can think of. He's a legend. When we were filming that scene, it was the most emotional day on set. We were all crying. And for me, it was just such a powerful moment to be here doing the things that I love the most, golf, acting, and singing, and to be with really one of my idols. I've looked at his career as something that I aspire to. And then they say never meet your heroes. Brian Darcy James, the nicest guy in the world. He's the best.
Excellent.
Yes.
Now, Finnegan's Foursome is about a family golf game that's been going for generations. But how would you rope people into this? Because I know it's not just about golf.
Yeah.
How would you tell someone who has no interest in golf to watch this film?
Well, it's ultimately a story about processing grief. It's ultimately a story about a family trying to make sense of what happens when the grandfather dies, and what does this mean for our life now, which everyone can relate to. And then on top of that, it's funny. It's, it captures what it's like for real amateur golfers. We're not good at golf. But you still care about who's going to win, which I wasn't sure. I was like, is anyone going to care about who wins an inter-family? It's not the U.S. Open. This isn't the Masters. But I know what happens in the movie, and I found myself being like, who's going to win? Who's going to win? I hope it's him, not me. So Yeah, it's really about processing grief and the ways that you do that, which can often not look like crying, can look like a lot of laughter.
Yeah, and a lot of busting chops on the greens.
A lot of busting chops.
How much?
A lot of shit talk.
Well, how much of that was the script, or how much was just off the cuff?
Oh, a lot of that was off the cuff. I mean, there was some stuff in the script, but then once we got to know each other, we got to know each other's games. You know, you want to play like Ryan Darcy James. He's got a real. It's not a slice, but you know, it's a fade. It's a strong fade. So then, but it's consistent every time. He's playing the fade. So once you know that that's how he hits the ball, then you can throw in a riff of, you know, look at that fade. Oh, okay. Hey, don't banana hook it this time, okay? Just a slight fade, okay? So yeah, as we got to know each other, got to know each other's golf games, we got to, you know, improve the shit talk.
All right, over under. How many balls did we lose?
Oh my God, so many. 150, I would say. Yeah.
Thank you so much. Enjoy the premiere.
Appreciate it.
So you play one of the matriarchs of the story, and you play a voice of reason when the family is trying to spiral out of control. Is that something you mind from real life, or is that total acting?
That's total acting. I'm the one that has to be reined in. I'm actually, I moved spontaneously to Ireland actually, 2 years ago. So no, I'm not quite the voice of reason that keeps everybody in, but it's fun to play every now and then.
Pretend. Now, there's some of those wonderful classic Ed Burns dinner scenes, and I love those. It just gets the people around the table, gets the conversation flowing. Tell me about shooting that and creating a camaraderie with your family members on set.
Absolutely. The dinner scenes what I was most excited to shoot because it's such like an Ed Burns thing, and I was always curious to see like, are they really eating? Like, what's going on? And it was really fun. Honestly, like, it didn't take any effort. It's a really lovely cast and crew, and Ed sets the tone for everything because he's writer, director, producer, main actor, and you just felt like it was seamless, honestly, between cast and crew. We had really good pie to eat in the scene, which doesn't hurt. So yeah, it was great.
Now, do you feel left out because you weren't able to go to any of the pub scenes in Ireland?
Well, funny enough, Ed had very kindly invited me, to shadow him on the pub scene where Brian sings, and which was really, really special. So, and I get my fair share of pubs, to be fair, living in Ireland, but you can never have enough. Never have enough.
Absolutely, and if you can make it a work expense,
why not? Even better.
Right? Thank you so much. Enjoy the premiere.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Talking about some golf in Ireland and a nice family picture. Tell me about what you love most about filming in Ireland and making a family golf picture.
Best thing about filming in Ireland is that you're filming in Ireland. All right, just like great crews, gorgeous locations, incredible golf, great supporting cast of Irish actors, and then wonderful pints of Guinness. I think I checked all the boxes.
So that's all of them. Yeah, for sure. Well, I mean, you forgot one is being in an Ed Burns film. I mean, that's kind of that's the headline, really. It doesn't happen. None of that happens if Ed Burns doesn't write a film about two brothers playing golf in Ireland.
Ed, you said that this film also reflects something that happened in your life, a very personal story. If you'd like to comment a little bit about that.
Yeah, so when my mom died, we took her ashes and we distributed them all over New York City and all the places that were important to her. Her high school, grammar school, the church where my parents got married, and it was obviously a sad day, but it was also kind of funny and celebratory. So I knew after that there would be I could work that into a screenplay down the road. So then when I had this idea that I wanted to make a golf film in Ireland, who knows when two ideas merge or converge. I'm sorry, guys.
Yeah.
But it did at some point, and I was like, oh yeah, all right. So golf movie in Ireland, story of my mom's ashes, I can figure something out here, and then I was off to the races.
So this is the second film after Miller's and Marriage that has a strong musician connection, where you wrote a musician into the script and you found yourself a great singer. Tell me about where you're moving towards that.
I've been playing guitar for, how old am I, 58, 35? I can't do that math, but whatever that is. And I'm a music junkie. Like, I would probably say music was my first love before even writing and filmmaking. Guys our age, right? We have a lot of friends. It's not applicable to this script, but like certainly in Miller's and Marriage that Brian was also in. At a certain point, it's hard to sustain a career.
It's hard to continue to be inspired. It's hard to find your voice. If you do still have a voice, does the audience give a shit? So those are all things that, when I speak to my friends or musicians, that's kind of like, that's one of the biggest concerns they have. So like, I know it's also one of my concerns as an indie filmmaker. So I didn't want to write a movie about an indie filmmaker, so I figured, they're kind of parallel journeys, creative journeys, if you will.
This is the BTRP Media Network.